Carolina preview. We're going to preview this week's opponent, the Carolina Panthers. This Sunday, that game will be on at noon on Fox 8 once again. We will have press conferences from Matt Rule and also Dennis Allen, and then we'll also have film studies. So once again, thanks for joining us here. So let me go ahead and switch over this camera. 1 second, let me do it again. Okay, we're going to go over to Dennis Allen first. See what he said about the Saints as they prepare against Carolina.
Okay, I'll be brief with the opening comments, obviously, because there's really not a lot to add to what I said last night. You go back and watch the tape. There's some good things that happened in the game, but all of it gets overshadowed by the 5 turnovers. So, we're in here today making all the corrections and making the adjustments that we need to make. And then we'll start turning our attention to Carolina.
Any opportunity to go over with Marshawn?
Yeah, he and I had a conversation. And he understands. He understands that he can't retaliate, and that's something that, teams in this league are going to continue to try him on. You look at at least a lot of the instances that I can think of, it's generally been a retaliation deal.
Were you able to get any more understanding of Kerry from the NFL and why they ejected him?
No.
Were you happy to see the response with that Mike Evans got a more severe punishment, I guess?
Yeah, look, I don't understand, how they come to the conclusion of what they're coming to. Certainly, I felt like what he did was way more egregious than what Marshawn did, and it's the second time that's happened. So I'm not sure how they come up with those designations.
Dennis, do you have conversations with your team about those incidents like that where you worry about maybe the emotions getting the best of your team and losing focus at all, or do you think that's not an issue?
Well, I had conversations with our football team a ton about things that keep you from winning in our league. And so we had those conversations again today. And we have to understand what keeps you from winning in our league. And right now we're not committing too many of those errors that keep you from winning.
You mentioned the designation or how they, come to punishment they come to. Are you alluding to maybe that it should have been more harsh for a player leaving the sidelines?
Well, he was on the field for that particular play, but typically you don't see, these altercations typically kind of occur with the people that are involved and not people that are not involved.
Dennis, is Jameis's back affecting his passing or his accuracy?
I didn't see that. Again, you'll have to ask him whether he feels like that affected him or not. I don't think that was the case. Really, when you go back and you evaluate that tape, you're going to say there was call it a 7 to 9 minute stretch in the game where we weren't very good. And we knew that was going to be a field position game. We knew that we were playing a really good defense. And I thought for the first 3.5 quarters, we played the game the way it needed to be played. I thought we missed some opportunities at some big plays down the field. And then I thought we maybe tried to go to the well a little bit too often in terms of taking those shots down the field. I thought there were some things underneath that maybe we could have taken advantage of.
How does that work? There's 13 targets for Olave. Was he a primary on a significant amount?
Well, look, here's the thing. Everybody kind of thinks that there's, you design this play and this person's getting the ball. Well, yeah, there's some of that, but yet the coverage dictates where the ball goes. look, there was a lot of attention given to Mike, which left other people, in position to potentially make some plays. So I do think there was a couple of opportunities down the field that we had chances at, and we'll hit those as we, continue moving forward.
On the fumble, is that because he wasn't tackled and touched the ground, can't cause a fumble in that situation?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I think it's a really tough play and a call, and a few years ago that would have been easily ruled an incompletion. He's trying to make a catch and gets a little out of control and losing his balance and ends up going to the ground and can't maintain possession through the ground. So I thought that was a tough play.
And how did James feel today? Necessarily worse for wear for playing a full game?
No. Obviously, look, the pain and discomfort is the pain and discomfort of losing a game. That was the pain and discomfort for all of us.
And I know you don't want to get too much into what he's dealing with, but you guys did feel pretty confident playing would not
Correct.
exacerbate the injury.
Correct.
Maybe he can continue to be a well player.
Correct.
Why do we know better against the run than last year?
Look, different game, different scenario. This is a team that we've, for whatever reason, matched up pretty well against. In terms of the run and the pass, really. So I think our guys, look, we made corrections that we needed to make. That's part of what happens in our league. And we played, a defensive game that was more similar to the standard that we expect around here. No, we wanted to get Tano in the game and see if he could, be an improvement from where we were last week. I thought they did pretty good. I thought Dwayne added a physical element in the run game that was good to see. And I thought Tony did a nice job, and particularly some things in protection where I thought he did a pretty good job.
Dennis, is there, and this is kind of random, but related to everything going on, is there an area of the sideline you guys aren't allowed to cross? And if so,
Wait.
so is this an like contact penalty or related to everything going on? Is there an area of the sideline that when you guys
Fine.
don't have cross area, so like standing in an area that's
Yeah, I can't really answer.
Something must be. Hold on, let me shut this
Yeah, I
down.
can't really answer.
Shut this down. I don't know what's having. They having some issues. I don't know what's going on. Hold on one
I
second.
can't really answer that question.
I know there's like get back coaches and whatnot, and that's
Yeah, well, look, none of us are supposed to be, in the white painted area. That's generally not an issue unless you get in the way of one of the officials working the sideline, typically during the play. So yeah, I mean, look, typically that's kind of an area that's been reserved for players and coaches, trainers.
Dennis, did you identify any protection issues you're concerned about?
No, look, if you go back and you watch the tape, the protection was actually pretty good. There was a couple of, sacks that are, where Jameis kind of escapes the pocket and the one was I think the fumble that we ended up recovering, and then the other one was on our sideline at the end of the first half. I think that was technically a sack. I'd say there was probably 2 plays in there that I felt like protection wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I didn't feel, although I was actually kind of surprised when I got the play-by-play that said 6 sacks, because I didn't feel that in the game. I actually thought the protection was pretty good, and then when you watch the tape, overall, I thought it was pretty good.
Did you sense at all that the ejection had any negative effect?
I didn't feel that way. No. I mean, you lose a good player. It affects us. It affects us in that way. No, I didn't feel that.
Coach, last week against Atlanta, you talked about the number of sacks and how it's not always the offensive line's fault. That's your first impression as a spectator or a fan. Looking at it this week, is it more just again Jameis not releasing the ball and going through his read quick enough, or maybe is it?
Yeah, look, there's a couple of that. There's a lot of variables that go into that. There was a couple plays that they had some good rushes. I think there's one where Jameis was probably a little bit deep in the pocket. Like I said, there was a couple where he had an open lane and kind of scrambled out of there and had a chance potentially to make a play down the field or at least run for it. So it's hard for me to sit here and look at it and say there was a lot of protection issues. I didn't feel that way.
Is it a coverage situation?
Some of it, yeah. I mean, some of it. Look, it's a good defense that we just played, and so there's a lot of different variables that go into that. So yeah, I mean, you got to give that. Look, you have to give Tampa Bay credit. I mean, defensively, they played a heck of a game. They made it really really challenging for us. Made us have to go the long, hard way. We didn't get, a lot of explosive plays down the field, and they made the plays that they needed to make to give them a chance to win the game.
You had a couple of kickoffs that didn't reach the goal line.
Yeah, we felt like we had an advantage in terms of the coverage units. Actually, the first kickoff of the game, we were actually trying to hang it up there and get him to return it, and then the next kickoff, he just, Will left it. He kind of overcompensated a little bit and left it too short.
I feel like the way you guys adjusted, it seemed like Tom Brady was testing the slot early or trying to get those matchups with Mike Evans in the slot early, and it seems like you guys adjusted to that.
Yeah, we adjusted a couple of calls. We try to, I think they were trying to get, match up inside with Justin, and we changed up a couple of things. And look, I felt like overall, I mean, from a defensive standpoint, I mean, I thought we did a pretty good job of minimizing what their offense was able to do. But certainly, when you allow a game to kind of stay in that balance like it was, you one team, makes a critical mistake, and certainly we did, and then, have a Hall of Fame quarterback that took advantage of it.
Yeah, I know it was late in his brief, but how do you feel about Alontae Taylor coming in late?
I think he played 17 plays in the game, and I liked what I saw. It's kind of a bang-bang play on our sideline that, half a count later is going to be a fumble instead of an incompletion. They had a third down, kind of sprint out, 7 route to Perriman that he ended up getting a PBU on. So, look, if he can stay healthy, I really like the player and like the prospect. And so, I think that was good for him, moving forward to get a little experience playing defense.
I know you were here in 08-17, you all kind of doing the same thing, Charlotte to London. Is there anything different you do this week other than just pack heavy when you go to Charlotte, or do you do anything different because you've been gone for so long?
No, not really a lot different. We discussed a few things, scheduling wise, today with the team, just some logistics really more so than anything else. I wanted to get all that out of the way today, and I want the focus to be on Carolina. So when our players get back in here on Wednesday, after a player's day off, like we're just thinking about going to Carolina and trying to get a win in Carolina. And then we'll worry about all the other stuff after that.
You may have addressed this yesterday. Did you consider a field goal there before halftime?
Yeah, we thought about it. Your two options are attempt a 57-yard field goal, or punt it away, pin them down there, and feel pretty comfortable you're going into the half at 3-0. And I just felt like the way that game was playing, that I didn't want to take the chance of a 57-yard field goal. The percentages of making those is not great, although I have a lot of confidence in our kicker to be able to make those. But I felt like at that point in the game, the right decision was to, punt it down there. They were getting the ball back to start the second half, and I certainly didn't want to look at a 2-possession swing there.
Yeah, obviously, one sack in the first 2 weeks, a great number, but you said it's an issue, a lack of pressure, like QB pressure is the worst kind of issue.
I don't see it as an issue. Look, the two games that we have played, totally different games, and how those games are being played. I think Tampa was a lot more get the ball out of the quarterback's hand. There wasn't a lot of times where he was holding on to the ball to give us an opportunity to get to him. And look, they were 5 of 17 on third down. So although we'd love to have, a ton of sacks, the ultimate goal is to, get off the field and get the ball back for your offense. And I thought overall, we did a pretty good job of that. The sacks will come. If I'm not mistaken, you guys would probably have a better memory about this than I do. I don't know that we had a lot of sacks to begin the season last year. But I think we ended up being, one of the better teams in terms of sacking the quarterback by the end of the year. So.
You look at the fourth quarters, week 1 and week 2, how different they are. Do you find that at all striking, or is everything instructive and carried forward from that?
Well, look, in one sense, the first week of the season, you're encouraged by the never give up, grittiness of your team, and then yet in the next week, just the mistakes that we made in that in a game that was, contested. I felt like we could have been a little bit more patient there. And taking what the defense was giving us, because it was still a highly contested game at that point in time. But really, at the end of the day, two totally different games.
Coach, putting it in perspective, James' health condition coming into the game before the back, and you think about the turnovers and the sacks and the disconnections in the passing, did you think at any point of possibly making a
No.
change to spark the offense?
No.
Mark's fumble, did you feel like he had?
I thought he had pretty good ball security. I say that technique-wise, I thought he was doing the right things. He was trying to protect the ball. It was certainly a conscious effort on his part to try to protect it. They do a really good job of punching the ball out. That technique that they used is something that we preach defensively. We got two of them out the same way last week. So, again, credit them for making a hell of a play. We just got to do it, but we got to do a better job.
Was Alvin close like that?
Yeah, well, we were holding out hope all the way to the very end.
Okay, we're going to run Matt Rule, so I'm going to switch over to Matt Rule now. So we're going to do that.
What does flexibility actually mean? It's working a 40-hour week or a 4-hour week, earning now and saving for the future, and working wherever.
Yeah, we had to just do some light indie today, so probably won't know till later in the week. Might end up being a game time type decision. So, we'll just kind of wait and play it out by ear.
In the game when he got hurt?
Yeah, it was a long pass down the left sideline right before they converted a 3rd and 10.
Hold on. Somebody's calling. Hold on. Apologize once again. We're back on live. We had a call, so we'll switch it back in. There we go.
What's that mean for the position if he can't go? Who would?
Yeah, we would start CJ and JC, and we've been playing Miles at the nickel, so those guys would go, and Keith would just bump up, and Stan would be ready to go.
That's
so
muted the audio.
Just have those guys. CJ would get a start.
I know a lot of things are going wrong offensively the first couple of games, but how would you just in general assess the way Baker's played?
I think Baker, Baker's like the rest of the offense. He's done some good things. I mean, we were in the red zone 4 times last week. You get in the red zone 4 times, you think you're gonna have a chance to win the game. I just think for us, each game's been a little bit different. The first game we just got started slow. Then I thought he got really hot. In the second game, didn't quite work out the way we wanted. But I think that's a function of a lot of different things. There's guys are supposed to be on 20-yard overs that are like at 14, 15 yards, and we're making diving catches for 12 yards instead of touchdowns. And so that spacing gets right. Everyone's where they're supposed to be, and I think we'll see Baker really flourish. I mean, at the quarterback position, you're counting on a lot of different people to do things right, and just enough wasn't right last week. So we're working towards this week trying to play better.
Specifically to the receiver rotation, you mentioned maybe.
Yeah, all week we're going to give those guys an opportunity, kind of like we did last week. Go compete it out. Again, I think the point you made was a valid one. I think we all feel the same way. Higgins is a guy we trust to catch the football. I think we're at the point right now where we're going to have to catch balls and contested catches versus this secondary. I think they're one of the top pass defenses in the National Football League. So to me, you're going to have to make contested catches. So whether that's LaVisca, Moo, Hig, we're going to have to just kind of play it by ear. And as you guys know, who's active on game day, a lot of it depends on some of these other things. If Dante's up, those numbers can shift a little bit.
Just your thoughts on how Baker responded to the passes being batted down at the line of scrimmage. Obviously, that was a trend in the first week. You saw it happen early, and then we didn't see it at all late in the game.
Yeah, I think I can't remember, was it once or twice in the first twice. The first one, again, it's always a function of a lot of little things, and it's not as much fun to not say, hey, it's just this one thing. Receiver's a little quick on his route. It's a 4-step route. He runs it on 2 steps. Quarterback speeds up. I think as we continue to get in rhythm, I really believe that the offense is just, they're just trying to find a way to kind of have everything click, and that's really a function of everyone just doing exactly what they're trained to do and letting their talent take over. So it's always little things. It's not fun to say because, it sounds like you should just get them corrected, and we're working hard to do it. But I think when, we do have the correct spacing and we are where we're supposed to be, as the game goes on, we settle down and we play better. So I think you'll see Baker take another huge step this week as long as the guys around him continue to take steps.
You guys are ranked 28th right now in plays per drive at just 5. It sounds like if you guys can start sustaining some of these drives, a lot of this gets taken care of.
Yeah, I think I've said it after the last 2 games. The real factor to me is third down, winning third downs, and then again when you're in the red zone 4 times, you have to come away with touchdowns. Yes. You can't take a sack on a screen. You can't have a negative run. You can't have those things. You can't have a penalty on 2nd and 4. So I think if you score some touchdowns instead of field goals, that changes things as well. The first scoring drive for us, I think, was a 16-play drive, resulted in a field goal. So we've shown we can sustain it. To me, it's just kind of getting out of our own way a little bit, and again, that just comes down to me, just everybody executing at a high level.
You guys had a lot of defensive success last year against Jameis and the Saints in that first game. What can you carry over, do you feel like, from that game this year?
Well, I think Jameis is an excellent football player. He has a lot of weapons on offense right now that he's, Olave's come in and provided a real deep threat. Michael Thomas, one of the best receivers in the game. Kamara and Ingram, 2 excellent backs. Juwan Johnson they use at the tight end position, and then obviously Jarvis. Some of those guys weren't here last year, so to me, as I look at it, it's just a whole different game. They do an excellent job of utilizing Taysom Hill in the run game as well, so we always have to have a plan for that. So there's a lot of different things that we have to plan for. To me, last year we got the lead. We played aggressively on defense, and we were able to get the ball out and win the turnover battle. And so, at the end of the day, we have won the turnover battle in 2 games. When they won the turnover battle against Atlanta, they won. When they lost it this past game, they lost. So to me, it just gets really simple. It comes down to if we can take the ball away and if we can protect the ball. And I'm sure if I listen to Coach Allen, he's probably saying the same thing.
And just to expand on that, can you talk about your observation of the Saints defense?
Browsing the web without NordVPN could mean sharing your personal data with more people than you think.
Well, like I said, it's one of the top defenses in football right now, and I think it's because of their prowess on third down and their prowess in the red zone. I think they're in the top 5 or 6 in both of those categories. Excellent up front. He starts with Cam Jordan, Davenport. They've got 2 bookends that can bring pressure. Lattimore's one of the best corners in the game. They've got Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May, Demario Davis. Pete Werner's playing really well. So they've got a lot of really good players. They can play man, they can play zone. They'll mix it up on you. So to me, it's a function of going out there and finding plays that even if it's not perfect, just have to find a way to make those plays work. Stay in third manageable against them and be aggressive when you have a chance.
What will Raheem Blackshear's role be with you guys?
I think that's just kind of like a guy that we have interest in. Dan and Scott had scouted him and liked him and liked what he did in the preseason. So to me, we had a spot in the 53. He's a young player that we think has a lot of potential. Where he fits in, as a returner maybe, or even as a fourth back, I think remains to be seen. So, but we wanted to take advantage of, hey, we have a spot on the roster. There's a player that we really liked. Going and getting them.
You returning with the Bills. It didn't look like he had done much in college.
I believe he was the kickoff returner in preseason, but not really punt returners. In practice, he's done them maybe, but not in games. He's a really good football player. Was a good football player at Rutgers and then Virginia Tech, and then had a good preseason. So, good guy to bring in and see what he could add.
How do the Saints differ from under Sean Payton, if anything, so early?
It's probably hard to tell. I mean, they look so much the same. Coach Carmichael's been the offensive coordinator there for years. He's running the show. Coach Allen was the defensive coordinator, so they're the same team. Coach Rizzi. One of the untalked about things when you talk about the Saints is how good they are on special teams. And not just the return game. Obviously 11's the premier returner, but everything they do on special teams is at a really, really high level. It's a really veteran team, a team with a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger to them, a lot of players whose names you know. And so I think for our guys, it's not a far departure from the team we played last year because they have an identity, and I think it's a good one. So, we're going to have to go out and play well and kind of continue to develop who we are and establish our identity.
Beyond Hurts, you've got a couple of young guys behind your starters, defensive tackle, who haven't played a whole lot. What have you seen from McCall and Hoskins?
Hoskins played in the first ball game. He's got a lot of talent. He's a guy who's flashed for us last year. He's flashed in training camp. And McCall got in the last game, and to me, played the run. When you play the Saints, the first thing you have to talk about is the run game. Their outside zone run game with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. I mean, they have one of the best centers in the game in McCoy. He can reach a nose like that. So guys like McCall, they have to be up and ready to go and play at a really high level. And I was really pleased with the way McCall played last week. So he's just a guy to me that, he coming out in the draft, he was like 365. He's now in the low 340s. He's done a great job here of getting his weight down, and I think he's going to be a really good player for us.
When you're facing them with Kamara, without him.
I think when they have, I think Alvin Kamara is one of the, the great players in the game, right? And so can affect you in the run game, but can also affect you in the catch game as well. I mean, they're going to get him out on the perimeter. He can run shallow crosses. He can run all their choice routes. He can run loosey routes, option routes for them. So you have to know where he is at all times. Ingram's a great player. He's a guy who's done it for a long time. He's an elite leader. He's tough. Runs the ball hard. So I think just in terms of the run game, it's a lot of the same. In the passing game, I think Kamara is someone you just always have to know where he is because he can do it from the backfield or from the receiver position.
The margin of error has been so thin the first 2 games. How do you widen that gap just a little bit?
It's a great question. I think you just execute at a higher level. I mean, I know that at the end of the day, in the first ball game, we talked about catching the snap. That's really where we started at, right? And past game, we talked about, hey, we started the first 2 drives with fumbles. You really can't start like that. I think our team showed a lot of resilience in those games, kept fighting back. But you know what? You watch the Saints versus the Bucs, and the Bucs are going on the first drive, and Tom Brady fumbles a snap, and the Saints get it. You watch the Falcons game; they have a 3rd and 1, up 16 with a chance to win it. All they got to do is take the snap and get the first down, and they drop it, and the Saints come back to win that game. So I think when you look around the NFL, a lot of teams are dealing with it. We've just been bitten by it. We haven't made the play to overcome it and celebrated on Monday. I haven't come in with a celebration and been like, hey, we got to get this stuff fixed. It's been, a little more somber because we've lost. All that being said, we just have to go back each week to what do we need to do, and we need to get the snap. We need to not have the fumble. We need to start creating some turnovers. We have to win third down. We have to just execute at a higher level. It's all just football. It's nothing more. And so,
okay, once again, that was Coach Matt Rule. Let's begin our film study, weekly film study, Carolina Panthers. So we're going to do that right now.
Don't risk losing
Give
your
us
photos and videos.
Wait 1
This
second.
innovative stick makes it easy to back up your smartphone. It's
Let's do it. I'm trying it out. Let's do it. So I'm gonna be chilling down in this corner.
Okay, let's begin with their the package right here. So this is what they're talking about. Let's hear what he had to say.
Going about my business, giving my thoughts. I may pause it every so often, but it's what it is. All right, this is what happens is there's a wide view and a tight view on the all 22. I'll skip through the special teams as much as possible.
Okay, this is the backs they're running. They're running a I formation. So they had the wide receiver, 3 wide receiver sets. So they're going to run those 3 wide receiver sets. So what they're going to do, let's see what happens in this play.
I'll also try to do some replays. First and 10, obviously. We went 3 and out on this drive. Baker drops a 3-step drop.
So he drops back. So Baker Mayfield, so what he's doing right there on that play, he's going to throw that pass to that nearest receiver. So he's going to get to the nearest receiver.
Clown gets his hand in his face. Robbie's open. Robbie's open here.
So he's going to be right there.
They were giving it a lot of cushion, so we tried to take advantage with the quick game.
So that was on, once again, that was on 1st and 10. So let me go ahead and fast forward to another play. Okay, this is another play right here. This is
And Christian will have plenty of room because DJ's running this guy off.
So he'll run it to the
this guy right here, Christian McCaffrey, with about.
He'll run it right to the left side. That's what they're doing on this play right here. So that's the play that they're going to be running every single time when it comes down to it.
Probably 7, because that's when he just caught it. This is where the guy's at. That's a little bit on play design, in my opinion.
Let's go to another play. We're going to switch over. We're going to switch plays. Okay, this is the wide view right here. See the wide receiver, McCaffrey's right in this area. And you got, we'll see what happens on this play.
We didn't really get a good job of screening the ball with Joe Brady, but.
So they're going to have one slot man going to your left. So that's going to be the left side right there. So let's see what happens.
So get a little misdirection.
So this is going to be a misdirectional play. That's what he's saying in this video. So it's a misdirection play.
With the short motion, make them think. Then you got play action going to the right.
So it's going to be a handoff right here. So that's a play action. So he's going to hand that ball. He's going to fake. He's going to fake hand off that ball right to McCaffrey. So
everybody's blocking down, but look at Ian. He's holding. The ref is looking at that right there. There's a ref somewhere back here. He's looking at Ian right there holding. Yeah, I mean that's.
And then he's going to roll out. See how he's rolling out. So
But like, look, you got a convoy. This guy came scraping, so that's a tough block for Elfon. I'm not gonna punish Elfon for that. But Moton's making good contact. Brady Christensen's down.
So nice little run right there by Christian McCaffrey right there. So it's a nice little interesting run.
Still getting work. I mean, it was set up great.
That's one thing you got the Saints is going to have to do is prevent that from happening again. So let's see what happens. This we'll go to this play. Okay, this is on.
Baker gets it. Look, Baker's looking at the safety. Maybe he still could have handed it off, but who knows what it would have looked like because it's a little muddy in here. As you can see, the guy gets up. It's in Christian's face. But gets the ball out.
So he gets the ball out on that side right there. So that was a good exception right there.
Quick. Picks up 3-4 yards in lieu of a running play. 3 or 4 yards. Let's watch it one more time from here just to see how it would look if we blocked it up. It's a zone probably, so we're reading this guy. When it's inside zone, you're doing the guy head up or outside of the.
Okay, that was a zone play. What they're talking about in this video, they're talking about a zone. So there was these Cleveland Browns was in a zone. Let's go ahead and fast forward it. I'm going to fast forward to another play, and we'll show you another play. Okay, this is the play I'm looking at right here.
Get wrapped by Robbie.
So nice little pass play right here by Robbie.
Stem him. Let's look at everybody else. Look at DJ up top.
Okay, this is another play right here.
DJ Saint.
So we'll go to, let's see, we'll wind to another play. And we'll, so hold on 1 second. Let me try to scroll this. I don't know why they got these.
I'm making waffles. Oops. Hold those waffles. I think an egg's coming on.
Little Ninja with you.
This guy drops. So Icky looks.
Okay, we're gonna run another play. So I'm gonna run this play right here.
But I mean, the read is on this front side to the wide side of the field. DJ with the out route to widen this to create space. Shy goes inside, and he opens up this lane. It opens up perfectly. I think he just got tipped by this defender.
So let's see what happens.
We'll see it from the tight view. Look at the protection.
That was a good defensive play right there.
So Shy's going to run this way to draw this defender inside. And he creates the space.
So he's going to throw that pass right there. So it's another pass play. Let's see what else we can give you. Give you another film.
There's the pick right there.
I'm going to give you a film. Give you another play. I'm going to run another play.
Rip through.
Wait.
A flat route. Somebody going deep.
So let's see what happens. He drops back. And he throws up.
Well, it's just out routes. Well, yeah.
So this is an out route right here they're going to be talking about. So that's the out route they're going to run. When they do that, they're going to run an out route. So that's one thing you have to prevent is those out routes ever occurring with the Saints. The Saints defense has to be very consistent. Against Baker Mayfield.
Like that, but check out Pass Pro.
So let's see what other play we can run.
That's up. Look, why are your hands down by your side? Why are your hands down by your side?
So let's see what happens. It looks like he's got it. Yeah, this guy's got it.
He just runs right around you.
So he's going to throw a nice little pass right there. So that's against two defenders right there. So he's going to throw that pass. That pass is going to get to the receiver, the next receiver over.
Every time. One more time. Get Moten and Corbett.
So I'm going to give you another play. I'm going to see another play I can run. Okay, this is an I formation, so you can have one back in the backfield. So that's McCaffrey. Let's see if it.
Not a huge push here. He tries to get the gap. They're not tight enough.
So that
tries to get through. I want to see their shoulder pads come together, hit this guy, and push him back. It's two of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And then work up to this guy. That's the one little drawback of not having a Bozeman or not having a stronger, nastier guard in Brady Christensen. They don't have the same strength and nastiness to blow guys off the ball. technically sound, can move, they're athletic enough to move around and get in front of guys. But when it comes to running the ball, you want to push these guys back, man.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to realize. When you play in Carolina, guess what? They're going to put some plays up. Sure, that guy's saying the truth about his their offense. But the truth of the matter is, look, if they play at their best, they'll wind up winning this game. So I say this, we have to. So we got one more play I'm going to give you, and then we'll wrap it up.
I love watching this dude run.
Okay, this is the I formation. Shotgun. 3 wide receiver sets. So 3 wide receivers in the game. So let's see what happens on this play. Let's give you the.
Yeah, y'all see the smile on my face.
So he's going to drop back. See, he's going to drop back. He's looking for his wide receivers. So let's see what happens on this play. So it was a nice little throw right there, but it was incomplete. So it was right to him right there. It was going right towards him. Okay, this is the play right here, going towards the end zone.
It's a good pickup.
Canadians, did you know that if you have $10,000 or more in debt, you could write it off?
Good. I mean, nobody was open, but I would still say hang in there a little bit as much as you can. Looks like Ian's bracketed.
So he's going to throw it. And that was incomplete right there. So it's incomplete, but that was good coverage by Cleveland. So what else we got? Okay, this is on, once again, this is another look at their offensive formation. This was a shotgun formation. You had 3 wide receiver sets on this side. And then you got 1 back.
DJ on top. Yeah, shot on a slant route.
So that's going to be a slant.
He wasn't looking.
So he's going to run that ball. So what that was going to be, he was going to have to run a slant route, but he ran the ball right here. So he got the ball. That was on a run play. So that's one thing you got to look at when you is those run plays. When they run those plays, let me switch my camera. Yeah, when they definitely come out, Christian McCaffrey, he's going to be their go-to back. Baker Mayfield, look, he's going to run the ball. So the one thing we have to do in this game this Sunday is not give him an inch. We got to put some pressure on him. That's no getting around it. I have to have pressure coming from the end. It has to come in from the outside. So the thing is, look, if this offense can be limited to 3 and outs and stuff like that, we will win this game. But if we continue to turn over the ball like we did last Sunday and get sacked 6-7 times, we're not winning this game. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, I know the Saints fans, they like I said, they'll be, don't realize it, but it is true. You've got to minimize your turnovers. So you could say the referees had something to do with the situation last Sunday. But the thing is, the Saints have to play different this week. Because Carolina, they could be a good team if they want to. So let me shut this off. Okay, once again, thanks for joining us For this edition of the Saints preview, we will have the Southeastern preview later on this evening. That'll be around 5, 6 o'clock. I will be back here on Facebook and YouTube for that. And tomorrow night, we'll have the Friday Night High School Football Show. That will be around 7 o'clock. We will be here. We'll have score updates and audio coverage from Nash 106.1. And we'll have video coverage with myself. We will have video coverage as well. So everybody have a good rest of your Thursday. And we'll see you again tomorrow for later on for Southeastern and UIW preview. So have a good rest of your Thursday.